Loggerhead Shrike, a horizontal painting created by Swanson in 2022, after the focal bird in the painting, is acrylic on a cradled panel and measures 48 inches wide by 34 inches tall. Our perspective seems to be sitting on a branch just behind the Shrike, eye level with the bird and like the bird, looking in the direction of a house ablaze with a roaring house fire. Let's first explore the bird perch right in front of us, and then we will look at the house fire. The Shrike, a robin-sized songbird, but with the personality and predatory nature of a hawk, takes up a little more than a third of the painting. It is on the left side of the painting and puts the bird closest to us as the viewer. Known to us as a loggerhead shrike from the title of the piece, the bird has a heavy bill, the top half of which hooks over the bottom edge. From the edge of the beak, a wide black mask or stripe goes across the face and frames the eye. The bird has a gray underside and slightly darker gray back. The wings are black with two distinct white bars on the side and white tips. It has a long black tail that points down below the branch nearly to the bottom right corner of the piece. Just to the right of the Shrike appears to be another bird, yet it is mangled and impaled on a short spiky twig attached to the same branch. With a closer look at the twig, we see it is red, covered in blood from the dead bird. At first this may seem rather strange and unsettling, but we know shrikes to be predatory birds with strong beaks, but rather weak feet. So they use twigs, spines of plants and other sharp objects to safekeep food for later and aid them in pulling large prey apart. Other songbirds along with insects and a variety of small vertebrates make up a typical shrike diet and can be seen cached in the trees. So the mangled, headless bird with both feet and a tail hanging lifeless below the branch may just be a meal for the shrike. Following the branch further right, to the edge of the painting, there are several more twigs, each adorned with several sharp thorns though void of leaves or any other materials. Along the branch are a few brighter strokes of paint, one pink, another nearly white, and a third in blue. The thorn farthest to the left, on the edge of the painting is spotted with Swanson's trademark bright drops of paint in yellow and red. The shrike's right eye seems fixed with a piercing glare towards us, while its left eye, which we cannot see, must be trained in on the roaring fire happening in the background. The house fire fills the top right quadrant of the painting. A two-story single-family home is completely engulfed in flames. So much so, that only flames emerge from the second story where the roof should be. Fire also escapes all three windows on the second floor and covers the side of the house above the garage. All along the first level of the home, in another three windows, we see only bright orange and yellow flames. The eave over the front entrance holds, though the door must have burned or is open to reveal even more flames inside. Even the small bushes lining the front of the house are dotted with red-hot embers. Above the house rises a nearly pitch-black cloud of smoke with wisps of white. For firefighters, dressed to fight fire, are on the scene. The two closest to us stand in relaxed positions, seemingly in conversation with one another and just watching the fire. The firefighter to the left is fully dressed in the thick tan suit, striped with reflective yellow bands. They wear a yellow hard hat and matching yellow air tank on their back. The second firefighter in this pair has only the firefighting jacket atop dark blue pants. This person's head is nearly blurred out by what looks like a large red ball of fire. There are, however, two more firefighters kneeling to the right of the house, dressed in matching tan and yellow striped firefighting gear. They hold a hose that makes a large loop through the yard before it gets to their position. Together they hold and direct the spray of water coming from the hose to the side of the garage where flames burst from the first story of the home. The water spray seems somewhat insignificant compared to the size of the fire. Now to fill in the remaining background to this painting. The horizon line beginning at the left side of the house and continues to the left edge of the painting is a cream peachy sky which shifts to strokes of white, and then to dark hunter green, punctuated with the crowns of evergreen trees. The yard or grass, which begins as 3 shades of dark green, are intermixed in front of the house. As you move away from the house, towards the foreground and under the tree branch with the shrike, the grass shifts to lighter gray greens and eventually swaths of school bus yellow as it comes to the bottom edge of the painting. Which brings us back to the shrike who, to me, seems to give a cold stare and challenge. Are you too going to just stand there and watch as everything burns to the ground? Now, let's explore further the current state of the loggerhead shrike population. The loggerhead shrike is widely distributed throughout most of the continental United States and the southern part of the prairie provinces of Canada. Its range appears to be influenced by human-induced landscape changes. Because the species utilizes open habitat, it expanded its range northward in response to deforestation and the introduction of agriculture that occurred as the United States was settled. Since the 1940s, however, some regions have experienced population declines, partly as a result of tree encroachment on grasslands and increasingly intensive row cropping practices. In response to declining population levels, the loggerhead shrike was placed on the National Audubon Society's Blue List in 1972. North American breeding bird survey routes, which are run throughout the country, revealed a population decline of nearly 3% each year from 1966 to 1993, Peter John and Sauer 1995. Additionally, annual survival rates of adult and juvenile loggerhead shrikes in the upper Midwest are too low to maintain population stability, Brooks and Temple 1990. Once considered a common inhabitant of grassland habitats, the loggerhead shrike population in Minnesota has fallen sharply, and the species is currently very rare or absent throughout much of its former range. In the last 25 years, loggerhead shrikes have consistently been found in only 2 counties, Dakota County in the Twin Cities metropolitan area and Clay County in west-central Minnesota, with occasional scattered observations from other counties. The reproductive rate and success of the loggerhead shrike is high, so the overall population could increase if factors responsible for the species' decline were identified and eliminated. Management efforts should focus on increasing and maintaining suitable grasslands and shelter belts, brush along fence lines, and scattered trees and shrubs for nest and perch sites. You can learn more about this fascinating bird here. dnr.state.mn.us Rare Species Guide Loggerhead Shrike.